I am here. Before this day even began, I had already seen the weight pressing on your chest, the questions circling your mind, the fear that your next decision might break something inside you. You've been asking in silence, God, are you still guiding me? Or am I walking through this alone? Listen to me. You are not abandoned in your confusion. You are not lost in the noise of your thoughts. You are not standing at this crossroads without my eyes on you. I have been closer to your decisions than you imagine. When your heart trembles and I feel it, when doubt whispers, I hear it. When fear rises, I stand beside you, steady, unshaken. Because what you call uncertainty, I call the moment your faith begins to sharpen. And what you call silence, I call the place where I prepare the wisdom that will change your next step. You are not in the dark. You are in the middle of the change I am producing inside you. And now, while my presence touches you, I ask you to do something powerful. If you can feel my voice reaching you right now, write in the comments, Jesus, I trust your guidance. Let this be your act of faith, your first step toward the clarity I'm about to give you. I saw the moment when silence began to scare you. You waited, and when no answer came, your heart tightened. You started wondering if maybe you had missed something, chosen wrong, or somehow stepped outside of my will. You began to fear that my silence was a sign of my distance. But listen to me now. My silence has never meant my absence. I am present in every breath you take, even when you cannot feel me. I am shaping your faith in the invisible places. You think the silence means nothing is happening, but that is where the deepest change begins. Do you remember Esther? Before she walked toward the king, before the miracle unfolded, she walked through a silence that felt heavy, intimidating, almost frightening. She did not hear a loud confirmation. She did not receive a clear sign. She simply stood between fear and faith and whispered, "If I perish, I perish." But that whisper was enough for me to flood her with wisdom, and the same is happening inside you. You do not feel it yet, but I am strengthening the part of you that will make wise decisions, decisions guided by God, not fear. You keep asking me, what should I do? Which direction should I take? But before I give you the step, I strengthen the soul that will carry it. You are being prepared, not punished, not ignored, prepared. Silence is where I sharpen your discernment. Silence is where I whisper to your spirit before your mind understands. Silence is where faith stops being an idea and becomes a foundation. And right now, even if you don't feel it, I am closer to your decisions than your own thoughts. Let this truth settle into you. You will not choose wrong when you walk with me. Every fear you have about failing, falling, breaking, losing your way, I am taking it from your hands so that wisdom can rise where worry once lived. And while this word reaches you, if you want to keep receiving my guidance, my clarity, my peace, then I invite you to stay close to my voice, not out of obligation, but because your spirit needs what I am pouring into you. So as you breathe in my presence right now, if you desire to walk this journey with me continuously, you can subscribe to this channel. This is simply another doorway I use to keep speaking to your heart whenever you need me. I am here, and this silence is not the end. It is the beginning of your wisdom. I have watched every moment when confusion tried to settle inside you, every moment when you wondered if I still saw your struggle, your hesitation, your uncertainty. And I want you to understand something sacred. I never lost sight of you. Not for a moment. There are times when you look for me in the loud, the obvious, the dramatic, but I often move in ways that feel almost invisible. Not because I am hiding from you, but because I am shaping something inside you that cannot be forced or rushed. Jackson felt this too. He would sit on his porch, hands folded, staring at the horizon, wondering if God had forgotten him. He looked for signs outside, for a voice in the wind, for a dramatic answer falling from the sky. But what he did not realize was that I was already whispering to him inside, shifting a small piece of his spirit, nudging his thoughts in a new direction, stirring clarity he did not yet recognize. And you have felt that same shift. It's subtle, quiet, almost easy to ignore. A gentle peace where fear used to sit, a soft knowing where confusion once lived, a strange strength rising on a day when you expected to fall apart. You call it just a feeling. You call it something small. But I call it the beginning of change. You are being led, slowly, intentionally, lovingly, into a new understanding. The clarity you are seeking does not always come from outside decisions. It comes from the spiritual alignment I am creating within you. When the inside changes, the outside becomes easier to navigate. When the spirit becomes steady, choices become lighter. When faith becomes your foundation, fear loses its ability to confuse you. I am the one shifting your inner landscape. That small movement you feel, the one you can't explain, the one that makes your heart steady for no logical reason, that is me drawing you toward wisdom. Do not ignore it. Do not minimize it. Do not assume it is your imagination. It is the hand of God reorganizing your thoughts. It is my presence calming what once felt overwhelming. It is my voice creating stillness in places that used to tremble. And this is what I want you to understand. You do not need a loud sign to know I am with you. The smallest shift inside your spirit is often the clearest proof of my presence. Jackson eventually realized that the peace he kept dismissing was actually my answer. Not the wind, not the sky, not a miracle in front of his eyes, but a miracle happening within him, and the same is unfolding inside you. You are changing. You are aligning. You are becoming the person who will recognize wisdom when it arrives. That small shift is the doorway I am opening, and the way forward is already forming within your spirit. Before any door opens in your life, I begin by working inside you. You often pray for the opportunity to appear, for the path to reveal itself, for the answer to finally break through. But I want you to understand something deeper, something Esther understood long before the miracle unfolded in front of her eyes. Wisdom always comes before the breakthrough. Esther didn't walk into the king's court with full certainty. She didn't step into that moment because everything was clear. She stepped because I had already done a quiet work inside her, strengthening her courage, sharpening her discernment, stretching her faith so she could carry the weight of the miracle she was about to witness. And I am doing the same inside you. The door you are waiting for, the opportunity you keep praying about, the direction you desperately want clarity for. It doesn't begin on the outside. It begins with the inner strength I am forming in you right now. You ask me, Lord, when will the door open? But I ask you, when, child, are you becoming the person who can walk through it? You want the path to appear, but I am shaping the wisdom that will keep you steady once the path begins. I am refining your decision-making. I am calming the chaos in your thoughts. I am teaching you to recognize my voice above all other voices, because some doors require more than desire. They require discernment. They require faith that doesn't collapse under pressure. They require a soul that trusts God more than circumstances. This is why you feel stretched. This is why you feel pulled in directions you don't fully understand. This is why certain situations have not opened yet. Not because I am denying you, but because I am preparing you. The door is not delayed. You are being strengthened. And when the moment comes, when the opportunity aligns, when the direction becomes clear, when the yes you've prayed for finally appears, you will recognize it instantly because your spirit will already be ready. You will step into it not with fear, but with wisdom, not with confusion, but with clarity, not with hesitation, but with the quiet confidence that comes from walking with me. I do not open doors that will harm you. I open doors that your spirit is mature enough to carry. And while I shape this wisdom inside you, I want to hear your heart. Speak to me openly. If this word is touching something deep in you, tell me in the comments. Jesus, prepare my wisdom before the door opens. Let it be your declaration of trust, your agreement with the work I am doing within you, because the door is coming. And when it opens, you will be ready. There are moments in your life when you don't truly need instructions. You need comfort. Not direction, but presence. Not clarity, but rest. And I see those moments in you more clearly than you realize. Sometimes you come to me with questions, but I look into your heart and I see exhaustion behind every word. You ask, what should I do? Yet the truth is that your spirit is too tired to even understand the answer. You want guidance, but what you actually need first is healing. And that is why I draw near to you gently. I do not rush your spirit. I do not demand that you stand strong when your heart is trembling. I do not push you forward when your soul is asking to breathe. Instead, I sit with you in the quiet places where your mind falls silent and your emotions feel heavy. I sit beside you the way I sat beside Esther in her fear before her courage rose. She needed my comfort before she could embrace my direction, and so do you. Because wisdom does not grow well in a weary heart. A tired mind misreads signs. A wounded spirit fears good decisions. A pressured soul chooses quickly instead of choosing wisely. So before I speak to your path, I speak to your pain. I touch the parts of you you've tried to ignore, the questions you've buried, the fears you've hidden, the tears you wipe away before anyone notices. I see all of those, and I never turn away, not even for a second. Do you know why? Because I care about the one carrying the decision more than the decision itself. You are not just someone making choices. You are someone I love. You are not just a moment in history. You are my beloved child, and I will never guide you from a distance. When your heart sinks, mine leans closer. When your strength fades, I become your refuge. When your thoughts spiral, I wrap your spirit in a calm that the world cannot imitate. You think comfort is a secondary need, but it is sacred. Comfort heals the places that wisdom will later stand on. Comfort restores your faith, so your choices are not shaped by fear. Comfort anchors you so that change doesn't overwhelm you. Do not be ashamed of needing peace before clarity. Do not think you are weak because you crave my presence more than my direction. Even the strongest souls must rest before they rise. And right now, I am holding you with a kind of stillness that does not demand anything from you. You don't have to perform. You don't have to pretend to be strong. You don't have to have answers. Just breathe in the truth that God is near, and let my presence comfort you until the strength you need quietly returns. Your next step will come. Your clarity will meet you. Your wisdom will rise. But first, let me give you rest. I know the fear that rises inside you when you stand before a decision. It comes suddenly, quiet at first, then heavy, pressing on your chest, whispering that one wrong step could ruin everything. You replay possibilities, imagine outcomes, question yourself, doubt your strength, and wonder if my guidance is truly near. I see this fear. I see how it paralyzes your spirit and steals the confidence I placed inside you. I see how it makes you hesitate even when the path is simple, how it makes you overthink what should feel natural. Jackson struggled with this too. He would look at two choices as if both were cliffs, as if each carried a hidden trap. He believed that one wrong move would disappoint me, or derail his life, or block the future I had prepared for him. What he didn't understand then, and what I want you to understand now, is that fear distorts the heart, but it never reflects my intentions for you. You were not created to live terrified of choosing wrong. Fear convinces you that life is fragile, that my guidance is inconsistent, that one mistake could push you out of my will forever. But my will is not a tightrope. My will is a path made strong by my presence, and when you walk with me, even your missteps fall into redemption. I do not watch your decisions waiting for you to fail. I walk into every moment with you, before the choice, during the choice, after the choice. My hand does not leave you when your mind shakes. You ask me, what if I choose wrong? But I ask you, why do you believe I would abandon you if you did? I am not the God who hides wisdom from you. I am not the God who punishes sincere hearts. I am not the God who uses fear to guide his children. I lead through peace, not panic. Through faith, not dread. Through alignment, not anxiety. Fear makes every path look dangerous. Faith reveals that I walk with you on all of them. You worry that you'll miss the one perfect option, the one flawless decision. But listen deeply. You are not living a life of fragile perfection. You are living a life guided by my presence. Even if you choose a path that brings challenges, I will turn those challenges into growth. Even if you make a decision that hurts, I will transform the pain into wisdom. Even if you walk through difficulty, I will bring change through it, shaping your spirit, refining your discernment, and leading you to a better place. Nothing you choose sincerely while seeking me will ever separate you from my plan. I weave every step into redemption. I turn every mistake into understanding. I transform every fear into a deeper connection with me. So release the weight on your chest. Release the dread that paralyzes you. Release the belief that one wrong turn can destroy your future. You are not fragile. Your destiny is not fragile. Your relationship with me is not fragile. You walk with God, and when you walk with me, fear loses its authority. I will not allow your life to collapse from one choice. I am guiding you, even in the moments when you feel afraid to move. You are safe to choose, safe to step, safe to walk forward with faith, because you are not choosing alone. I am with you. There is more happening around you than your eyes can perceive. More movement, more alignment, more shaping, more divine orchestration than you realize. You look at your life and you see stillness. But I look at your life and I see construction. I see foundations being laid beneath the surface. I see doors being prepared quietly. I see opportunities being positioned at the perfect angle. I see hearts being softened, paths being reshaped, timing being refined. You think nothing is changing because you can't see it. But the most important work I do for you often happens behind the curtain, where human eyes cannot reach. Do you remember how seeds grow? They break open underground. They transform in darkness. They expand long before the first green stem touches the surface. If someone looked at the soil during those days, they would assume nothing was happening. But the truth is that the greatest change was happening where no one could see. And that is exactly what I am doing in your life. You feel stuck, you feel suspended, you feel like every prayer is frozen in the air. But while you wait, I am aligning things around you with a precision only heaven can craft. I am shifting conversations in rooms you haven't entered yet. I am preparing people you have not met yet. I am moving circumstances that will one day meet you at the exact second you need them. I am building a path that will feel so natural, so deeply right. You will know it could only have come from God. Hidden work is not wasted work. Hidden work is holy work. This is where I rearrange what once blocked you. This is where I soften what once resisted you. This is where I clear what once confused you. This is where the wisdom you asked for begins forming silently inside your decisions. You pray for change, but transformation usually begins where your eyes cannot see. And I want you to trust this. Just because I am quiet does not mean I am still. I am the God who moves mountains behind the veil. I am the God who parts seas before you ever reach the shore. I am the God who prepares the answer long before you ask for it. Every delay you feel is actually alignment. Every pause is precision. Every closed door is protection until the right one is ready. And while you wait, while you breathe, while you wonder if anything is happening, I am working in the places hidden to you but open to me. If your heart feels this truth right now, tell me in the comments, Jesus, help me trust the work I cannot see. Let these words anchor your faith, because soon the hidden work will rise into sight. And you will understand why the wait was necessary. I know the moments when your heart whispers, Lord, just show me something, anything, so I know I'm on the right path. You look for signs in the sky, in circumstances, in sudden clarity, in dramatic confirmation. You look for something unmistakable, something undeniable, something that removes all doubt from your mind. But I want you to understand something profound. The signs you seek often arrive differently than you expect. Esther did not receive a trumpet from heaven. She didn't get a vision carved in fire. She didn't hear my voice echo through the palace halls. Instead, I placed a quiet assurance inside her, a stillness so deep it silenced her fear and strengthened her steps. That stillness was her sign, and many times, that is how I guide you as well. You expect the external, but I begin with the internal. You search the horizon, but I place my confirmation within your spirit. You want something loud, but I speak in the tone that brings you peace, not pressure. A sign is not always a miracle unfolding in front of your eyes. Sometimes a sign is the sudden calm that replaces your panic. Sometimes it's the way confusion begins to lose its grip. Sometimes it's the thought that gently rises and feels far stronger than fear. Sometimes it's the direction that keeps returning to your mind, carrying peace instead of anxiety. You keep asking me, is this you? And I keep placing the same quiet certainty in your heart, not to frustrate you, not to tease your soul, but to teach you to recognize my voice inside you, the same voice that guided Esther, the same voice that leads my children through every season. Because true faith is not built on constant signs. True faith is built on the recognition of my presence. And yes, there are moments when I give clear, visible confirmation. There are times when the door opens so perfectly that you cannot deny it was crafted by God. But many of the most important signs I give are not seen by the eyes. They are felt by the Spirit. This is how I grow your wisdom. This is how I strengthen your discernment. This is how I lead you into a maturity that fear cannot break. You may think you are walking in uncertainty, but what you're actually walking in is trust. You may think you are waiting for a sign, but your heart already carries the one I have given. The sign is the peace that stays when everything else is shaking. The sign is the whisper you cannot silence. The sign is the direction that brings light instead of heaviness. The sign is the strength that rises when you should be falling apart. The sign is the shift inside you that doesn't make sense except for one truth: I am with you. And when I am with you, you are never without guidance, even when the guidance comes quietly. You don't need a dramatic sign to know you're not alone. My presence is the sign, my peace is the sign. My steadying hand over your decisions is the sign. And as long as I am near, your heart will never be left without direction. Life around you has grown loud, so loud that it has become hard for you to hear your own thoughts, let alone my whisper. Noise surrounds you from every side. Expectations, opinions, pressure, uncertainty, fear, the constant pull of everything demanding your attention. And in the middle of all this noise, you've wondered if my voice is still reaching you. Let me tell you the truth. My voice has never stopped speaking. You have simply been standing in a storm. When everything around you becomes chaotic, when the world feels overwhelming, when the inside of your mind is filled with questions that refuse to settle, that is when my voice becomes gentle. Not because I am far, but because I refuse to shout over the noise that tries to control you. I speak softly, so your spirit learns to listen beyond the chaos. I speak quietly, so you can discover the depth of faith rather than the height of emotion. I speak calmly, so the peace I give does not depend on circumstances. Even now, in this season that feels loud and disorienting, my voice is moving toward you like a steady light, subtle but unmistakably mine. Do you remember Elijah? He looked for God in the wind. He looked for God in the earthquake. He looked for God in the fire. But I was not in any of those dramatic moments. I came in the gentle whisper, the sound that could be missed if the heart was not still. And just as I was with him, I am with you in the same way. I do not need noise to guide you. I do not need intensity to speak truth. I do not need dramatic signs to lead your next decision. I only need your heart to pause long enough to recognize my presence. This world will try to pull you in every direction. Problems will try to drown your focus. Fear will try to imitate urgency. Your thoughts will rush. Your emotions will rise. Your reasoning will clash with your faith. But my presence does not compete with chaos. It steadies you in the middle of it. You ask me, why do you speak softly when everything around me is so loud? And I answer, because I want your spirit to learn to follow peace, not pressure. Pressure forces decisions. Peace guides them. Pressure demands immediate answers. Peace gives space for wisdom. Pressure creates confusion. Peace reveals the next step in clarity. I am not rushing you. I am not overwhelming you. I am not adding to the noise. I am guiding you into the stillness where truth becomes unmistakable, where fear loosens its grip, where the storm outside cannot silence the calm inside. You do not need to fear missing my voice. When I speak to you, even softly, your spirit recognizes me. It's that quiet knowing that settles in your chest, that gentle push toward what is right, that sudden release of tension, that clarity wrapped in calm. This is how I lead you, with a whisper that outlasts every storm. And though the world around you may be loud, my voice, gentle as it is, will always find you, always steady you, always bring you back to the center of my presence, where wisdom begins and fear ends. You look at your life and sometimes it feels as though you're moving through a fog, taking steps without certainty, making decisions without clarity, trying to trust without seeing the full picture. And in moments like these, you wonder, am I walking blindly? Am I making these choices alone? But my child, hear me clearly. You are not walking without guidance. You have never taken a single step alone. Even when the path feels unclear, I am directing your spirit. Even when your thoughts are tangled, I am steadying your heart. Even when your feelings tell you that you're lost, my presence surrounds you more closely than the air around your body. You believe that guidance must feel obvious, unmistakable, bright like a sign glowing in the night. But my guidance is often quieter, deeper, woven into the very movement of your soul. It's in the persistent idea you can't ignore. It's in the peace that stays after you pray. It's in the hesitation that warns you when something is wrong. It's in the strength that rises at the exact moment you needed it. It's in the way your spirit tightens or relaxes without explanation. These are not accidents. These are not coincidences. These are not random emotions. These are the ways I guide you. Think of a shepherd walking with his sheep. He doesn't shout constantly. He doesn't push them with force. He walks among them, close enough that they learn his voice, close enough that even the smallest sound becomes familiar. His guidance is not loud, it is near. And that is how I walk with you. I am beside you in every decision. I am ahead of you preparing the path. I am behind you protecting what you cannot see. I am within you shaping wisdom, sharpening faith, and creating strength for every step. You are not as lost as you think. You are more guided than you feel, because guidance is not about seeing every step. It's about trusting the one who walks with you. I know the questions in your mind. I know the fear beneath them. I know the pressure you feel to get it right. But let me carry that weight. Let me show you that my guidance does not depend on your perfection. It depends on my presence, and my presence never leaves you. You may not see the full map, but you see me. You may not know tomorrow, but you know my heart. You may not understand the path, but you walk with God, and that alone is enough to keep you safe. So breathe. Settle your spirit. You are not wandering. You are being led. And if these words are awakening something inside you, tell me in the comments. Jesus, guide every step I take. Let those words rise from your heart, a declaration of trust, a reminder that wherever you walk with me. There is a transformation happening inside you, quiet, steady, intentional. You may not see it fully yet, but I see every moment of it. I see the way your thoughts have begun to shift, the way your spirit has started to steady, the way your heart now listens more deeply than before. These are not small changes. These are signs that you are being prepared to choose well. You often think that wisdom arrives all at once, sudden, bright, unmistakable. But wisdom is rarely born in a moment. It grows through experiences, through prayers, through challenges, through silence, through the moments when you wondered if I was even near. All of that has been shaping you. You are not the same person you were before the confusion. You are not the same soul you were before the waiting. You are not the same heart you were before the heaviness settled in. And that is good, because the decisions ahead of you require the version of you that is emerging now. Jackson learned this slowly. At first, he didn't recognize the growth. He only saw the anxiety, the indecision, the fear of choosing the wrong path. But gradually, he began to notice subtle shifts. Moments when panic no longer controlled him. Moments when clarity surfaced more easily. Moments when his spirit felt anchored instead of scattered. Those were not coincidences. Those were the early signs of wisdom rising. You are experiencing the same thing. The thoughts that once overwhelmed you are losing their grip. The fears that once dictated your choices are weakening. The confusion that once clouded your heart is beginning to lift. This is not happening by accident. This is me preparing you, carefully, purposefully, lovingly. Before a decision becomes clear on the outside, it becomes stable on the inside. I am giving you the ability to discern what aligns with my presence and what conflicts with it. I am teaching you to recognize the difference between pressure and peace. I am training your spirit to sense the direction even when the world around you feels uncertain. Every hesitation you felt, every moment of reflection, every question that surfaced, these have not been signs of weakness. They have been part of the preparation. Growth often feels like uncertainty before it becomes clarity. The wisdom you asked me for is not arriving suddenly. It has been forming in layers, quiet layers, deep layers, sacred layers. Soon, you will notice something shift, not externally, but internally. A decision that once felt impossible will suddenly feel clear. A path that once frightened you will feel safe. A step that once overwhelmed you will feel natural, almost peaceful. This is what happens when wisdom matures within you. This is what happens when faith reshapes the way you think. This is what happens when God prepares you from the inside out. You are not being rushed. You are being refined. You are not being pressured. You are being strengthened. You are not being left alone. You are being guided into clarity that will last. And when the moment comes, when the choice stands in front of you, when the opportunity opens, when the direction calls your name, you will know exactly what to do. Because the wisdom you prayed for has already begun to rise. And now, beloved, after every moment you've lived, every silence you've endured, every question that tried to break your confidence, I want you to hear me clearly. You are ready. Not because life has become easier, not because the path suddenly became simple, but because something inside you has changed. Faith has taken root. Wisdom has matured. Your spirit has grown steady beneath my hand. All the waiting, all the stretching, all the hidden work, it has led you to this moment where your heart can finally breathe again. I am not leading you into confusion. I am leading you into clarity. I am not guiding you into fear. I am guiding you into strength. I am not preparing you for loss. I am preparing you for choice, for wisdom, for the next step you will take with confidence. Let this truth settle. You are walking into a season where your decisions will not be driven by fear, but by my presence. And now, as your heart softens to this truth, come closer, because I want to speak to you in prayer. Breathe deeply, child. Let your shoulders loosen. Let the weight fall from your chest. I am with you. I whisper even now. Receive this. I place my peace over your mind, silencing every voice that does not belong to God. I place my clarity in your spirit, removing confusion that has clouded your steps. I place my strength in your heart, so you no longer fear choosing wrong. I place my light before you, so every step you take is guided from within. I place my wisdom inside you, so your decisions carry courage, discernment, and calm. I draw near to your soul right now, wrapping your doubts in my presence and lifting you into a confidence that does not break. You are not alone in your decisions. You are not walking without guidance, and you are not stepping into your future unprepared. I go with you. I remain in you. I lead you from the inside out. Let this prayer settle into the deepest layers of your being. Let it become the atmosphere of your next step. And now listen to me gently. If this word brought peace to your spirit, if you felt my presence touching your heart, if clarity began to rise inside you, then let your voice be heard. Write in the comments, Jesus, I choose your wisdom. Your words will anchor what I planted in you. And if you want my guidance to continue speaking to you every time your heart needs direction or peace, you may like this video and subscribe to this channel. Not as a ritual, but as another place where my voice reaches you when you need it most. And before you go, watch the video that's appearing on your screen right now. I placed it there for a reason. It carries the next message your spirit is ready to receive. I am with you in every breath, in every decision, in every moment yet to come.